What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Now I quickly want to chop it up with you about something that's been on my mind lately, about how a lot of guys, they cope like crazy. They cope insane amount of copes that these guys are sipping on or inhaling is insane. It's freaking insane. Now, what is it that I'm trying to say? So let's say you're a young guy. You're in your early 20s, mid 20s. Shoot, you're probably in your late 20s, early 30s. Now, you probably lived a life where at some point, you were getting a lot of success in whatever field, whether it's like in your social life, in your personal life with like dating, relationships. You were getting all these, if you're a guy, you're getting all these like types of like women, like specifically that's the audience that I'm catering towards. So like whether you get a lot of women at one point, whether it's your success in your career field, you're making a lot of money, but then there comes to a point where I guess like one or two incidents or experiences in your life that causes you to become a shell of yourself. You go into hibernating mode. You go into monk mode, which monk mode is very healthy. Like when you have specific amount of time that you set to like go in isolation to really focus intensely on getting those things done, like with high intensity focus, that's perfectly fine. But a lot of guys use monk mode as an excuse to like not go out there, not put themselves out there and actually get things done. So it becomes a big cope for a lot of guys. So you become this like shell of yourself. You go in this like quote unquote monk mode and you become a vegetable where all your daily routine becomes is you go to work, or if you go to school, you're going to school, you're barely getting things done there. Like you're just somehow like just going with the flow and waiting until the day is over. Then when you go home, you're just so freaking tired, burned out, drained, and you just either like watch Netflix, do Uber Eats, or jack off like crazy and go to sleep. So like in this perpetual cycle of like boredom, of this like boring lifestyle where you just go to work or school, then come home and indulge in this like hedonistic instant gratification, you end up shooting yourself in the foot, because now you're not only socializing, you're not socializing, you're not meeting people, you're so content just being a loser, you're so content just being average. Now, if that's what you genuinely enjoy, that's a different thing. Do that. If you genuinely, from the bottom of your heart, from the bottom of your soul, you enjoy that, you're like, hey, I don't mind, getting through my day. Then when I come home, I can watch some Netflix, I can watch my favorite games, play my favorite games, eat whatever I want, tasty foods with my hard-earned money that I worked for, and then I'll just watch some prawn at night to like, release that tension, that sexual cravings that I have. I'll just watch it through the websites and the videos. If that's what you genuinely enjoy, you're content with that, it's not hurting your soul, then hey, you have my you do you. But I know for most guys, that's genuinely not the case. That's just an excuse. They're saying that to make themselves feel in the current moment, but deep down I know it hurts them, because I've been there. I've been struggling with that on and off. Like I beat that version of myself, and then I fell back into that version of myself whenever I just like lose momentum, whenever like I go weeks of like avoiding the work that I need to do, avoiding my true feelings about how I feel about doing certain things and what it is that I really want to do. When I avoid that over time, I fall into that rut. And this video is also like, I'm putting it out there to remind myself that like we're all collectively as men, we're all struggling with this, especially as young men in our 20s, especially now in 2025 more than ever, where people are not even socializing as much. People are staying home a lot. If you're a homebody, that's completely cool. I'm a homebody myself, but there is a such thing as staying home way too much. Staying home way too much, where it's just killing your gains, killing your progress. You don't want to socialize. When you go out there, you feel socially anxious. Like, you're so content with the little validation that you might get in a small setting, like whether it's in your workplace, whether it's in school, whether it's somewhere you go on a day-to-day basis. But you're not seeing the bigger picture. You're not putting yourself out there in the bigger world where you can test yourself in many different ways and see what you're really made of. You're very content, like, staying small, essentially. And this is a thought like I was genuinely having, because there are times I'm slacking completely. There's times I'm just completely slacking on myself. And I talk to guys. A lot of guys are just like mostly so dialed in with their work, which is cool, but they don't want to do anything else. Next thing you know, a year goes by, 2 years go by, 3 years go by. You haven't socialized enough. You haven't made any new quality friends. You haven't gotten any quality experiences that could have like changed your life. You're barely meeting women, so you're barely getting any sort of like intimacy, any lovemaking, any sex. Like, you're just going, basically you're feeling like a virgin. You don't know what it feels like to, get intimate with somebody. I know this video got a little extreme, but I have to keep it real. It is what it is. I have to keep it real, because I don't want to be like that. I don't want to go year, 2 years, 3 years without being with a woman and stuff. That's just personally not my thing. Like, if I choose to do it, like if I happen to go, it's out of my genuine choice, whether I'm like super dialed in that monk mode period, or certain events that I'm in my life that's happening that I'm really focusing on. But other than that, no. I like speaking to women. I like talking to women, and I'm always grateful for that. So, and if that's one of your urges deep down, you want to speak to more people, you want to make more friends, you want to meet more women, then go for it. Freaking, who cares? You might embarrass yourself, you might get hurt, you might get some rejections. Who cares? Life is way too short anyway. Because if you're so comfortable like being a sheep, being a lamb, and living that comfort life for a long time, by the time you're at your deathbed, and your soul is not okay with that, at your deathbed, you're gonna be depressed. You're gonna be regretful about how your life went. You're gonna wish that at least you had tried. So I would rather you and myself be this like lion, this vicious tiger, this go-getter that's going out there, trying different things, experiencing different things, and failing at it, rather than just being complacent, being a coward, being so comfortable with ourselves, not trying to get better. So that's really what I got to say right now, and just a short little video. Wanted to put it out there to remind myself and remind others that life is short, and we really have to like take this moment for real.